Alright guys, thanks for tuning back in. Today we're going to go ahead and try and build a base model Bronco. I've been thinking about it. The last video I put out, we were talking about Broncos that were costing upwards of 50 to 60 grand. And I know a lot of us don't usually want to spend that much money on something that we're going to take off-road. So I was thinking maybe I should just do a basic four-door build with a manual transmission and a Sasquatch package. So let's go ahead and move forward with that. We're going to do start our build, the essential Bronco, start your build. Base is starting at 33,200. And let's move on with the Sasquatch package. First thing we do, that's an additional 5,790 bucks. Keep in mind that Sasquatch packages on the higher trim levels go down in price because some of those Broncos come with some of those options that are in the Sasquatch package already. So let's go with the cool color here. All these are kind of bland and boring. I think out of all these, I choose Velocity. The problem with Velocity is I heard on the forums they might have a delay build time frame for these guys. You might get this one later than you normally would if you were to go with these other colors. That's just speculation. Alright, so let's move on. Now we're going to do basic build. Nothing fancy, just the essentials. So let's keep it soft top. I do actually kind of like the soft top. I am curious to see how good it is at preventing all the wind noise from coming inside the cabinet, all that good stuff. So we'll see when more videos come out, I'm sure. Again, I'm not going to go ahead and do the front bumper because that's something you can do later. Again, we're just doing an essential build, so we're skipping all this. Even the wheel lock kit, you don't need it. I still like it for 90 bucks, but again, let's just move on. As far as seating goes, it looks like it's got a black and gray combination. Doesn't look too bad, not as nice as the other upper trims, but let's move on. Now, this is one thing I do want to add is auxiliary switches and overhead console with front map lights. This doesn't come standard on it, but it's only 195 bucks, so it's definitely worth it. Small price to pay, because if you're to have to put an S-Pod in, not only do you have to worry about the labor, but you're going to spend that much, maybe a little more too for it. So that's a no-brainer. Forget about the storage bags, we can get those later. It does come with the basic 8-inch screen, which I had no problems with. Apple CarPlay was great on that, so I'm not going to touch that. I'm going to go ahead and leave the 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine in there because, like I told you in the previous video, it was a great engine, no complaints whatsoever. It was powerful, fuel economic for the most part. And there's no need to go to 2.7. Obviously, if you have the money for it, go for it. But we're doing an essential build here, so I'm skipping that. Looks like if you have Sasquatch package, you still can't get the manual transmission. So it's going to come standard with the 10-speed still. So I don't know if they're going to change that at any point. They said they would, so we'll see if that happens. For now, we're just sticking with the 10-speed. And Sasquatch package obviously checks off the rear locker, front locker, 4.7 final drive ratios, wheels, tires, all that good stuff. This is the only package you could select for the base model, so kind of makes it easy for us. Looks like you can't get a tow package here because normally on the other packages, or yeah, on the other trims, I should say, you can select that option. I'm sure you can throw it on as an aftermarket, you know, accessory or OEM part from Ford. Rock rails definitely want to put down on there because we're doing Sasquatch package, so it's looking like we're going to do some heavy off-roading, so might as well throw those on there. And like I said before in my other video, this is a decent price. $595, almost 600 bucks for rock sliders that can basically hold the weight of the car. Definitely get those from the factory, have them install them. That way you don't have to worry about aftermarket ones costing more. And then you also have to install those as well. So throw those on there. Looks like it's taking a bit to load. Moving on to bumpers. Again, all this other stuff you can add on after the fact, whether it be the capable front bumper or any other bumper for that matter. They're upgraded bumper with bash plates. But again, you can add them after. Hitches, here we go. Looks like you can still add a winch on there. But again, that's 3,300 bucks. I remember doing my other video and it was cheaper, but the reason why it's cheaper, you can see right now it changed over here on the other trim, is because it already had that modular metal front bash plate and bumper. So that's the extra cost in here in addition to the $2,500. So we're going to leave that guy out. I did not select that. It's just still showing it. Let me double check. So we'll move on. Interior, there's nothing here. This is it, guys. That's about it. So once that loads, hopefully it'll take that off and we'll be left with what our build consists of. Let's move up to a 72-month loan, and we're going to go bring this down to a more realistic rate of 3%. Hopefully it is the same for you guys as well. You can see, so about 4,000 down, so maybe 1,500 less down than the other build I did in my previous video, which was the Wildtrak as well as the Badlands model. So let's do update cost. Now keep in mind, this is actually a couple $100 cheaper in regards to monthly payments if we compare this against the Wildtrak and the Badlands. The Badlands topped out at around almost $800 a month with the same term, same percentage. A little less down here obviously, but not much. And then if we go down to the Wildtrak, it would be more like $740 a month. So you're saving a couple $100 a month for almost, honestly, the same thing. You obviously don't get the 12-inch screen, you don't get the fancy interior, all that good stuff, but you're basically there. And in regards to the Badlands, the only thing you're missing out in regards to this and the Badlands is the rubberized floors with the drain plugs, which is not a big deal to me. I know it is for some people, but I won't be draining that out that frequently. And on top of that, it would just be that sway bar disconnect. And to be honest with you guys, you'll probably see sway bar disconnects that you can throw on there like any other Jeep. They'll be manufacturer built probably within a couple months of the release of these guys when people start getting them. So you basically almost have the same thing for, let's see, 15 to 20 grand less. So it's up to you guys if you want to keep it simple. You'll basically be at almost the same capability as the upper trims, except for the Badlands with the sway bar disconnect, but you can get that aftermarket and it won't be too expensive. So now that I see this, it is quite a bit more tempting to go for this guy. Tell me what you guys think. Is it worth it to spend 15 to 20 grand more just for some luxury items and whatnot and a sway bar disconnect? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll have another video out shortly.